And in 2023, you had 303,000. Are those provisions, but not payments?
They are provisions, yeah, in the accounts.
Okay, because that makes sense, because you had your comprehensive income reducing in the year. So that will be all right. And what do you term as growth and sustainability?
I think there was a law or an act that 2.5% of your profit before tax should be paid as a growth and sustainability tax. And I think this was passed by this parliament. I think so, yeah. In 2023. So that is that. So in 2022 we didn't have, so it came in 2023.
If you look at the figure, the figure is not a payment, because if you are supposed to pay, then the figure ought not to be in brackets as a provision, but it's in a bracket as a provision.
It's an expenditure item.
Yes. Yeah. It's an expenditure, and I mean, if you put it under the expenditure, you probably don't have to still put it in parentheses. That means you are making them as a provision of non-payment yet, if you agree with me.
Honorable Chair, in the preparation of accounts, once you get to your profit before tax, anything that comes, supposing we don't have that, then anything that will come will be the taxation, and that will be the in bracket. So when you take it off from your net profit before tax, then you get profit after tax. But this one is additional tax, so that's why it's in bracket. So it's an expenditure item. Thank you.
Your comprehensive income, I mean, the reduction is very huge, but there aren't any reflective expenditure increments that should have occasioned almost 1.3 million down to 296,000. If you look at the statements we have in front of us, there are no corresponding expenditure figures that ought to reduce that amount. Because in 2022, your total income was 27 million and 2023 was 26. Your expenditure was still the same, 25 million, 25 million. So to reduce in that excess, I mean, that is very huge. What is accounting for that?
So, Honorable Chair, I think if you are looking at, I mean, if you are taking them one by one, you will see that 2022, we have the total revenue of 27 million. And the 2023, we have 26 million. But when you come to the expenses, okay, if you want me to explain some difference here, in 2022, we had a COVID testing, and the revenue in the COVID testing in 2022 was about 10 million. In 2023, it was 650,000, and that is actually accounting for the decrease in the actual revenue here. And for that matter, the bottom line, that's the net profit.
Airport clinic.
Yes, please.
A bird just whispered to me that the clinic is going to be pulled down. Where is the new location going to be, or if it is true?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In fact, we are not aware of this. We are hearing it from you for the first time this morning that our clinic building will be pulled down. However, some land has been allocated for the putting up of an ultra-modern hospital. We are still, discussing the source of funding. But this is something that our parent company, which is the Ghana Airports Company, is looking at. And we're hoping that before long, we will have a more permanent facility. Thank you.
But you just said that you are hearing it for the first time. But another land has been located for you. And you'll be building an ultra-modern one over there. So the likelihood of this old clinic going down is already in your mind. And somebody is whispering to me. Then you are saying that this is the first time you've heard about it. Hey.
The issue of our airport receiving expansion on daily basis affecting output of the clinic. So government's intention is to have a bigger facility to be able to serve the airport. These are plans that we are taking. They are not yet at the implementation stage. So the doctor will not be part of the positions as at now. But the intention is that we will need a bigger facility to be able to serve our airport because it is growing on daily basis. So till a facility is provided, the current facility is what we are having as our airport clinic.
When do you think the new facility will start?
No any fixed date yet, but these are plans we are putting in place to ensure that we will expand to go along with the expansion of our airport in general.
So my bird, who whispered to me, was probably in your cabinet meeting or whatever it is. Okay. All right.
Minister, thank you very much. This is question. You know, you make mention that there is going to be expansion of the airport, and it's actually getting expansion projects every day. I would like to find out in the future, do you have any plans to actually, in terms of expansion, have hotel facilities within the airport? Because when you travel all over the world, there is hotel facilities close inside the airport. Do you have any plans such?
Thank you, Chair. We have some already projects going on at the airport that are intended to be used for hostel facilities. However, with the plan of building a bigger terminal for a car park, we are envisaging that the car park will have a hotel at its top to complement whatever new projects that we are getting in terms of hotel facilities. So there are private developers who are currently going through the processes of completing their facilities to be used for hotel facilities. The government, through the Airports Company Limited, is also having in mind of having a car park with some kind of hotel facilities included in it. Thank you.
Okay, Ghana Airport Clinic, you are discharged. Now let's call Ghana Ports and Harbor Authority. Will you please introduce yourself to the committee?
Good morning, Mr. Chair. I'm Major General Paul Seydou Tanyekuluno, the Acting Director General, Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, my name is Tebon Zuma, the Acting Director of Port for Tema.
Chairman, my name is Khalid Nuhu, Finance, Ghana Ports and Harbors.
Good morning. My name is Kamala Ofori, Head of Engineering, GPHA.
Honorable
Okay.
Chair, my name is Gifty MFA Janku, Acting General Manager, Audit.
Thank you very much for coming. Honorable OPK will handle your financials.
Thank you very much. And looking at your financials, and it indicates a very strong and revenue-generating agency from the position of your operational ability than more of a distress. And we see your continued ability to generate significant operational income. your capacity to meet recurrent expenditure, and there's no indication of insolvency or liquidity crisis in the audit narrative. However, the auditors recommend that you should be held to a higher compliance standard under Act 921, and so basically, I think that you are performing well. I don't see anything. Just that we expect higher demands from your end, and I want to commend the management for that, and also to commend the minister for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable.
Ghana Ports and Harbors Authority, you are discharged. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, thank you very much. We are grateful.
Thank you very much. Now let's call Aviation Social Center, please. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Abigail Sapo. I'm the General Manager for Aviation Social Center.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is Dennis Agbonovi. I'm the accountant.
Good morning, Honorable Chair. My name is George Kwatin Amani, Fitness and Sports Manager.
Honorable Frankie Eboa will go through your financials with you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Aviation Social Center Limited. Let me start with your financial performance. And let me start with the good news first. I'm seeing some increase in your revenue from 919,000 to 1.5 million, representing about 64%. Have you created any new revenue line or what? What accounted for that?
Honorable Chair, I'll defer that one to my accountant to answer. Thank you.
Yes, please, Honorable Chair, we've created additional revenue lines. And these are principally advertisements. We entered into agreement with concessionaires, so they do adverts in front of the place. That place, the airport bypass, so you have a lot of space there to do adverts. So that's what is giving us additional revenue.
So you are attempting to say that the new line wasn't there in 2022, but it came in 2023. Is that the case?
It actually caught up in 2023 because we started the whole process around 2020 when we were looking for people to do the advertisement. But finally, we caught up in 2023.
Let's go to other income. 22% increase. What's the component of your other income?
Basically, it's the rental of a floor space, leasing of floor space for other people to come and operate in our environment.
Okay. The good thing is that you increase your revenue, yet the operating expenses also went down. What's the secret so the other companies can learn from you?
The question again. I think I got distracted.
If you look at, I've already talked about the revenue increment. Yes. But if you go down to operating expenses, there's a reduction from 823,000 to 758. And I'm saying that it's a good thing that we've done. So share the secret with us so the other companies can learn from you.
Well, just our hands on operational costs. We just manage to make sure that we control unnecessary costs. That's all basically.
Are you sure about that? Because I am tempted to think that you push some to the admin and general expenses. Because if you look at it, it moved from 844,000 to 1.787 million. So almost 1.8 million, 1.8 million, from 800 to 1.8 million. 1 million increase. And you are saying that you did that magic. That's why I intentionally praise you there. I knew I was going to get to here. So, what accounted for that? Well, I'm not sure government increased salaries by 120%.
Principally, what happened was that we had an exchange loss of almost 4,000 Ghana cedis because we're making payment for equipment we bought in 2019. And so we had to make that payment in 2023. And that time, the exchange rate escalated. So we suffered a lot for that.
I'm sure you've gotten enough lecture on the exchange rate, so I'm not going to waste time on that.
Yes, please.
So I'm seeing income tax expense. Can you throw more light on that?
Sir, this were actual payment made, Honorable.
What is it? Is it because we are making losses, so why the taxes? I just want, is it payee and the rest, or?
Yeah, these are withholding tax withheld by other people we paid. So it's a tax credit to us, so we acknowledged it.
In 2022, you made a loss of deficit of 288, and that has increased to 649,000, an increment of 124%. How are you correcting this?
I'll hand over to my boss.
Mr. Chair, if I can come in here, at the risk of repeating ourselves and not incurring the lecture, in 2023, when we're paying the debt of the equipment we had bought in dollar rated, of course, we made that huge loss due to the exchange rate list. But by 2024, 2025, we have finished paying for the equipment. So going forward, we know that we will not be incurring this sort of huge losses because now we finished paying, thank God.
Which year was the machine acquired or procured?
Late 2019.
Madam.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Respectfully, we don't enjoy giving lectures, so we just talk about things that we are representatives of the people. And so things that they push us, they ask us to elicit from you. And then when we get those conversations going and there are any suggestions, we call that, we all sit together and see how best we can do it. So it is not, the way you said, you don't want us to give you lectures. And so,
my apologies, madam.
It's for the love of the country. And that is why we do this, because I believe that everybody here maybe should have been working in his or her constituency, but we have been given a task to do. So we don't enjoy giving the lecture. We all work together to make our country a better place.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it in that way. I was making a jest.
Now that your apology has been accepted, can you go back to tell me when the machine was acquired, please?
Machine was acquired late 2019. We did some renovations in the gym. Just after we finished the renovation and we're hoping to open in 2020, COVID hit. So we closed down for the greater part of the year, 2020, almost in 2021. So we couldn't make payments, unfortunately. The plan was that we paid for the machine in 2 years.
What's your current relationship with your creditors?
So currently we finished paying.
But this one, generally, what's your relationship with your creditors?
I would defer that to the accountant to answer, please.
No, it's fine. It's a good relationship.
You are showing a current ratio of 0.3 to 1. That was the same thing in 2022, and it repeated in 2023. Meaning that you find it difficult to meet your current liabilities. That's why I asked that question. And if you look at your current liabilities, it has increased by 39, almost 40%. So practically, I want to know your relationship with your creditors. and how you are managing how you are managing them, whether you'll be able to pay them or not.
Yes, please. We are able to pay them as and when the liability is due.
I will advise that you improve on your current ratio so that you'll be able to pay you'll be able to meet your current liability as and when they fall due. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm done.
Civil, the aviation center, is that the one by the airport over here that I drive past all the time?
Yes, Honorable.
Hey, Honorable Edam Agbana has a question to ask.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, mine is a public interest question, and just to bring the minister's attention to the fact that looking at the audited accounts and their financial position is not encouraging at all. And I am finding it difficult to understand how an event center or such a facility located at a prime area, strategic area, will be performing poorly, abysmally financially, at a time that private event centers are making so much. I visited not too long ago. We may have to look at maintenance of the facilities and how well properly facilities are kept, and maybe through minister engage cabinet to ensure that state institutions that host all these end of year events and what have you, instead of patronizing the private event centers, and they pay so much, they should be able to use the Aviation Social Center as the event center so that you'll be able to regain some financial strength. That's all I have to say, Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Thank you very much.
I think you hit on management. Okay, civil aviation. Aviation Social Center, you are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Now let's go to PSC Tema Shipyard. Please introduce yourself to the committee.
My name is Alhaji Osman Suleiman, I'm the CEO for Tema Shipyard.
My name is Peter Mensah, Deputy CEO.
My name is Fred Fenton, Head of Finance.
My name is Nuruddin Yusuf, Head of Cost and Billing.
Samuel Chea Asante, Legal.
Okay, we'll start with Honorable Duke Allen with paragraph 1175, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Start with your financial position, or financial performance, please. The company seems to have turned around over the last 2 years, and I commend you for that. Government is also very keenly interested in promoting that business. Revenue dropped by 3.6%. However, other income went up by 127.2%. Can you let us know why?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I would like to ask the Head of Finance to respond to the question, please.
Honorable Chair, so for the revenue that dropped by 3%, we have 4 revenue line items. In 2023, we were able to generate revenue for all these 4 line items. However, in 2024, revenue from engineering jobs and FOQ there were no revenue generated from those line items, accounting for the decrease in revenue. However, the overall position for our major revenue generating income, which is ship repairs, between 2023 and 2024, there was an increment. When we come to other income, you rightly said there was 127% increment, which was right. And this was due to the fact that we had signed new contracts with some people. We leased some of our lands to them, the office shops, so that we can earn revenue over there. That accounted for the increase in the 127% increase.
This question is cost of sales. At the drop of 58.3%, why is that? Is it that you were servicing the same clients? Because cost of sales is to bring in new clients. So can you explain why your cost of sales dropped?
So the main reason is we load our staff cost at the cost of sales level. And 2023, there was rationalization of the staff in the sense that we have offloaded the workers to subcontractors. So we pushed that staff cost to the subcontractors. Hence, we saved a lot of money over there. That's why there's a drastic reduction in the cost of sales.
Okay, so that helped with your bottom line because your profit was up 83.9%. So you are outsourcing your technical experts to companies. Financial position. Total assets also grew by 39.1%, and your current liabilities dropped by 37.3%. Can you explain, please?
For total assets, the main increment was due to increase in trade receivables and cash equivalents. In the case of the current assets, we paid a lot of our creditors, so payables were reduced, leading to the drastic reduction in that area.
Chairman, it's interesting to note that they've done very well, that their current ratio moved from 1.3 to 1 to 3.1 to 1, and you should be commended for that. One question I have. What steps did you take in 2024 that would help your bottom line in 2025? What major steps did you take? What initiatives did you take that will help in 2025 performance?
So generally, we were very cost conscious. Overall, we were very cost conscious. And as I already said earlier on, we have moved most of the staff to the contractors, the subcontractors. So labor costs has reduced drastically. And this, we hope it will increase the performance for 2025. In fact, we have performed well.
I read somewhere in the news that the government of Ghana was partnering Malaysia to build ships and do some fabrication. How far with that arrangement or partnering?
Well, it has not come formally to the attention of Shipyard itself, and the board is being constituted. Interested, strategic investors, when that becomes necessary, obviously expression of interest will be known to the general public, but it has not come. It's just at the preliminary stages.
Chairman.
Honorable Akwesi Kwene, do have some few questions for you.
It's just a point of clarification. If you look on your statement of comprehensive income, you have two line items that I would want us to draw attention to. We have the income tax expenditure or expense. That is about 4 million. And in that same, just two lines below, you have deferred income tax provision and credit. Have you seen it, please? What is accounting for those two in the exact position like that?
Yeah. So for the deferred income tax, for the 2 years, taxes were deferred for payment. However, for the 4.4 million that we have over there were the actual taxes we paid for 2024.
Why I ask, because if you look into 2023, you had deferred tax of 2.3 million in 2023.
Yes.
So you came actually to pay 4 million in 2024 and still had another 2.4 million or 2.1 million that you deferred.
Yeah, so 2022, when we go back 2022, we were in a loss position. So those losses were carried forward. That's why when you see the tax expense at 2023, it's a dash over there. So that is the explanation I can give to that.
But if you were in a loss position, you would not have any taxes there so that you defer it. And secondly, that would also have had a reflection in your current liabilities. And if you look at your current liabilities, they both stood still, 35 million, 35 million. Yes. There was no increment in that, in specific reference terms, so that at least that could also some way have justified. But if you were in a loss, you would not have to pay taxes.
Yes.
So there should not be any deferred taxes there. Or is it that you had losses also in 2022 that you were still carrying, or profit in 2022?
Previous 2-3 years back, we were making losses, so it was carried over losses.
Perfect. So it means if 2-3 years you are making losses, you cannot have taxes that you defer. Because if you are making losses, there will be no taxes. So if 2-3 years before 2020 you are making losses, there will be no taxes for you to defer and bring them into 2023 and end up again in 2024 when you made profit and paid 4 million and still had deferred taxes.
So please, I would relook at this and talk to the tax consultant on this.
Okay, all right. Have a relook at it.
Okay, the next infraction is from Honorable Cletus Depala.
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, Dombo, I'm from Dombo's hometown. You do only 14% there. Honorable Chair. Yes. They have to come and do a lot there. Anyway, Chairman, this infraction has to do with some enforcement. Two of your customers defaulted. There was a court enforcement that you recover some money to the tune of 470,000 United States dollars. Can you explain what you've done so far in terms of recovering this amount?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I will refer this to the legal officer, Mr. Asante, to respond to the committee.
We have filed the processes in court to have the matter continued. For one of the first of it, we are going through with it. We are at the stage of hearing the matter, and virtually we will say we are in course to make sure that we enforce the debt.
Chairman, okay, you come in if you want to come. These companies, these two companies, do they still do business with you?
No.
Legal officer, do you have any idea about the Public Financial Management Act 2016?
Yes, I do.
Section 91. How long have you been, dilly-dallying with these people for 470,000 US dollars?
So there was a form of a settlement agreement with the company, and they were looking up to it that they could make the payment in installments, but at a point it was defaulted. Then the
Counsel, with all due respect, that wasn't my question. How long have you been playing around with these people?
So the case with the last of activities was in 2023. Then in 2024, the legal officer then commenced with the process to enforce it.
But why can't we enforce it? The court ruled in your favor, right?
There is no conclusion yet for one of them. But for one, there was a settlement agreement, and we are taking steps to enforce it.
The settlement agreement, for how much?
For about $240,000.
Why can't we enforce it?
So we've taken steps. An entry of judgment has been filed. We are taking steps to ensure that leave is granted by the court. Then we can attempt settlements. We can attempt enforcement on the companies.
Minister, on the Public Financial Management Act 2016, Section 91, it says collection and receipt of monies due public corporations. The board of directors of a public corporation governed by this act shall ensure the efficient management of financial resources of the public corporation, including collection and receipt of monies due to the public corporation. Number two, where a public corporation willfully or negligently fails to ensure that monies due to the public corporation are collected or received, the minister shall, upon the recommendations of the Attorney General, Auditor General, withdraw or suspend the emoluments of the members of the governing body of the public corporation, either jointly or several. I been seeker, so nobody is collecting it. When did you enter the settlement agreement?
To the best of my recollection, I think it was somewhere in 2023.
2023. And 2025, this amount wasn't collected.
So the arrangement was that money should be paid by installment because as at the time the service was done, the company could not pay shipyard. So in the course of time, they defaulted in the payment of the installment.
Do they have any sureties?
Yes.
Why don't you fall on the sureties?
That's why I said we are taking steps. We filed the entry of judgment.
When? How long?
We've done it. We are in court now, sir.
How many of the installment payments did they make?
I don't have it off record, sir.
It's 470 Donald Trump dollars that these people owe 470,000 Donald Trump dollars. And these people owe you shipyard, and we are playing around with it. Okay.
I would advise the minister and the management, Tema Shipyard, that we don't want to see this next year. We want to see effort being made to recover the money. You are not that company that has so much money. You need money for your own operations and development. So if your customers are owing you this amount of money, it's big. 470 United States dollars is not small money. 1,000. So you have to make effort to collect it. It will help the company to run. Thank you. But we don't want to see a repeat of it. We don't want the auditors to flag it again in the next audit report. We don't want to see it.
So I was quiet because we have to follow the legal proceedings. But the available information, the background checks that we have done, those vessels are scrapped. Those companies they don't exist any longer. So once you have mentioned the fact that this thing is going to happen, maybe probably next year you don't want to see it, there is nothing that will come out of it.
But sir, do they have guarantors?
The guarantors, they have used vehicles, and those vehicles they don't exist.
And you are telling us that nothing could be done about it?
No.
Chair, what he's trying to put across is that we have checked those companies. The sureties they put are non-scrap. And that is why we have gone back to court to pursue them. So it is not that we are saying nothing will be done. No, he wanted to communicate, but we are back to court to be able to enforce that retrieval of the 470,000 US dollars, because all that they gave in surety are not anything we can get anything from it. So we are hopeful that we'll go through the legal processes and be able to enforce the retrieval.
One of them has a landed property valued over 300,000.
This has a lot of dimensions because it's in court. Some of those indentures they give are fake. So the court want to go through the processes and ensure that the court will now give a judgment for us to be able to enforce.
Minister, we are looking at the name of the court being Tema High Court, and the defendant is MT Sweet Mary and two others, and you have the suit number as 181-2021. The item that was seized was a vessel. But when you go to the surety that the person provided, it was a title document covering landed properties with a price valued of not less than 300,000 US dollars or its equivalent in cedis. How can such a property be scrapped for you to go back to the court? It is just because instead of you following up with the entry of judgment and pursuing this property, because it says a title document, that cannot be a fake indenture. And how can this surety, the court accept this as a surety when it's a fake document? So, we can rewind and have something proper to tell us. But to say it's a fake document or otherwise a scrap document that was entered into surety by the court, please.
So if I may come in, Honorable Chair. The vehicles that were used as sureties were provided somewhere 2021. And we are looking at the number plate of those vehicles, 12XZ to this year, 2026. And we don't believe it will have the same value as it would have had in 2021. That's for one of the cases. For the other, I'm finding it difficult to give the full reasons why it might be difficult to fall on the land, because it might be an opportunity for the defendants to now arm themselves with that information, to use it as a challenge or a means of hindering our process in court. But it is not a titled document, though it is stated as so. It is a landed property, but not titled.
Auditors, in the report that we have, page 258, it says titled documents covering a landed property. Liga, have you cited any of these documents?
I have. That is why I speak to it in that form.
And when you look at those documents, you say they are not titled documents to a land.
Honorable Chair, I want to plead with this committee, since we are in court on this issue, if you could allow us to not to go deep into it so that we can use the legal processes to come to an end.
He says the documents were not titled documents, and that can be used by the defendants in these matters to hinder their processes. So I was only trying to confirm from the auditors, because they would obviously cite documentations before they do these reports. So if they would request to go back and come, no problem. But at least we also have to ascertain for ourselves what these reports carry to us.
Honorable Chair, we will still stand by what we have in the report until they are able to prove otherwise.
You see, that is why we sit here. We want some of these confirmations, because you see, it is our duty and your duty. It is our duty and your duty. It's just that we just have to be following up on some of these things. At times, even going for the leave of court to establish some of these things for enforcement and the rest, we find them as cumbersome and we just leave, trying to do background agreement. Liga, please.
I just want to give the expression of titled document. It's legal. and it means that the person has gone through the full process, has the documents registered, and has been issued with a certificate. But once the person has an indenture over it, and it's in his name, it's still a landed property with a document covering it. But you can't use that legal term to qualify it. That was just what I said on that one. And
were
once
these sureties?
the court, then we've been in court. Even in November, we were in court to follow up on it. And in February, we will be going to court to pursue the matter. So it's just that sometimes you can't have your own way in court to determine the days in which your matter will be heard as quickly as possible, but we are in court pursuing it.
Were these sureties provided to the courts?
This is a maritime matter, and it's treated differently, unlike other matters. And you could technically say it was provided to the court, but depending on the agreement that is given, it can be given to the other party, the plaintiff, to make sure that it's enforced, but the copy of it has to be kept by the court.
So the court would have to accept these sureties?
Yes, based on what the plaintiff is able to accept.
The plaintiff would have to accept, regardless of...
So this is how it goes. The court would give, you would apply for it to be the vessel to be seized, and when it's seized, the other party comes in with some kind of surety for the vehicle to be released. Then the court will look at the conditions to be met for the vessel to be released. So if the person brings any form of property that the court justifies as adequate to guarantee the release, then it is done.
The next infraction will be handled by Honorable Frederick Yao Ahinkwa.
Thank you, Chairman. This infraction has to do with unpaid Senate penalty to a tune of 82,067 Ghana cedis. The auditors noted that the company owed Senate a total amount of 82,267 in respect of penalties on unpaid and delayed contributions as at 31st August 2024. Management said they had contacted Senate on the issue for reconciliation. Auditors recommended to management to take steps to reconcile with Senate and settle any amount determined as the penalty to prevent interest on unpaid penalties. This is a response of management. The penalty date back to 2009. However, they have contacted Senate for reconciliation of this issue, and the report will be available for verification. My concern here, I think this report here is on boards and then the corporations. We've seen a lot of distance, and it's like it's becoming a rampant in the phenomenon. These issues borders on welfare matters. If somebody serves this nation and the person retires, I believe afterwards the person should earn something. And these stipends are what are accumulated and given to the person. So what may warrant that you deduct monies, and these monies are supposed to be given to Senate for Senate to invest and pay workers out of that, and then you deny them this. What is the problem? I want to know, because it's just recurring. We have had a lot. If you look at the report on paid penalty. How do you want Senate to pay the workers? Comment on this and let's move on.
Honorable Chair, and the view that you hold, that is the view that everybody, every Ghanaian and every taxpayer holds. When this matter was brought to our attention, we settled that outstanding bill. And I just want to assure the House that these infractions will not be repeated.
Auditors, per your report, you stated that the penalty, I think, started in 31st August. They are also saying, management is also saying that it started back to 2009. So why the discrepancies?
Honorable Chair, what we can indicate here is that the entity met with Senate on this matter, and they did a review. The amount was revised down to 29,000, which they have fully settled it. So the matter is actually settled. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The next infraction is on paragraph 1197. And that is non-performing investment. You invested
Yes.
you invested 4.2 million Ghana cedis.
I think
It's part of
100,
yours,
yes, it's part of it. Yes. You invested 4.2 million Ghana cedis. And then as at 31st December 2024, this investment has reduced in value by 773,792. So this whole figure has reduced to 3,426,000 Ghana cedis. I believe when investment is done, at least investments are done for profit or an increase. Even if nothing is done at all, maybe the increase should be in a decreasing manner, but not to affect the entire or the principal investment. So something is bothering my mind. What is the cause? What has led to that sharp decrease? Because you have invested and you're supposed to yield some profit. And this is the reverse. What is the reason? We would like to know.
Honorable Chair, the information we gathered, it was as a result of the domestic exchange problem. You know, you had some financial crisis around. But I can confirm to you, as at even October, the value has appreciated to the value of about 5.2 million. And as at yesterday, yesterday when we checked, the value stands at 5.9 on amortized value, but with the market value of about 5.4. If we want to redeem it today, then we should be taking about 5.4 million. It is because it's performing, that is why we did not. Besides, we have left it out for a particular purpose.
So the money is still at the bank.
I want to repeat, yes, it's at the bank, it's with EcoBank investment, development investment, and I can confirm that the value as at the 31st of December is an amortized value of 5.9, but the market value, if you want to redeem it today, it is valued at the cost of, at the value of 5.4 million, which is better than.
Auditors, can you confirm?
Honorable Chair, we would have to be updated with that information. When you look at the response was that they were going to withdraw the amount from the bank.
In fact, I can just present a copy to
they
the
are
auditors.
Yeah, so once they have decided to maintain the amount in the bank and alluding to the fact that the value has gone up, then they would have to provide those documents for us to be able to verify.
Do you have the documents?
I have it on a soft copy. I don't have it. Have a hard copy. Yeah, he didn't print. Yeah, that is the yesterday's one.
Sir, you were cited by the auditors. And anything that the auditors have cited you on, should the situation change, it is your responsibility to inform the auditors before you come and sit in front of us. Was that information given to the auditors?
Yes, Honorable Chair, the information was given to the auditors. You know, we're supposed to have this last year. That was given, and the statement was up to the 31st of October. Now, we now have the current one, which yesterday they had sent it, and that one was not printed. That is what I said, the value has now increased. So it is what is concrete. The evidence is there. We can print it out or and give a copy.
Yes, sir. Nancy.
Thank you very much, Chairman. CEO, let me find out. You had an investment with a bank, and there's a duration. And as finance directors, you need to be checking on your investment. As finance directors, you need to be checking on your investment. And instead of your investment appreciating, there's a reduction. And the auditors have to come to your office to tell you that there's a reduction in your investment. And I think you have a lot of investments in other institutions. So are you checking them?
Yes. I think because the question you were asking me at that time, I wasn't there. And I have a responsibility to, as it is, to answer to the appointment of a public account committee. What we are saying is when the infraction happened, when the recommendations were made for us to redeem that particular investment, even at that time, I wasn't there. But the report that the reason why they did not redeem the investment, when they went in, it has started appreciating. And what accounted for the reduction was due to that is the impact of the domestic exchange program. They even went ahead. They went ahead to redeem that, and they could not even get the money. They could not. That is the information that I got. I don't know whether that was the information that I got. I follow up with my finance director. Mr. Frederick, can you?
CEO, let me ask you, sir. You said you were not there. The financial officer, was he there at the time of this investment?
The financial officer wasn't there. He wasn't the main person.
Who in the company was there when this investment was done?
None of us. None of them.
So everybody over there is new.
Chairman, when the audit report came in, we decided to revisit the issue by getting back to the bank. And after the accounts were printed out, we noticed that the investment was actually appreciating, not as it was. And so we had to go through all the processes to ensure that as at today, the value has appreciated to this level of 5.5 or 5.4 from 3 point something. And so because there were that kind of differences at the time of the audit, we have realized that it's a viable investment and we needed to continue so that we can be able to settle our future indebtedness. So these were the lapses in the Tema shipyard.
Minister, I understand what you are saying, but that investment, if it hadn't lost over 770,000 Ghana cedis, maybe it wouldn't be 5.2 million. It could be 8 million or 9 million. Finance officer.
Honorable, could you please come again? Please. Please, I didn't hear a question. Could you please repeat it?
You didn't hear my question? Yes, please. Because what I asked was, when you took over, how long ago have you been here?
1 year, barely 1 year.
Barely 1 year. Did you try to find out any of these infractions from the Auditor General?
Yes, we did. That's why we followed up and we updated on it.
You are what?
And we were updated about this situation.
The next infraction is from Honorable Edem Agbana, and it's on paragraph 1202.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, this infraction has to do with some irregular ground rent. According to the auditors, the lease agreement between Tema Shipyard Company and the Ghana Port and Harbors Authority, your landlord, indicate that you were expected to pay about 6,000 Ghana cedis yearly for 25 years. But GPHA raised an invoice indicating that you are in arrears of about $6.6 million. And in your response, you said because of financial challenges, they as your landlord held on with the payment. So payment was in abeyance. I want to find out from you if from the time this audit was conducted till now, you have been able to produce the documents indicating the changes in the rent agreement that you have with your landlords, the GPHA.
Okay, Honorable Chair, we have not been able to get any documentation of any review rent agreement since the other one had expired. They had not been, it was just a request letter from GPHA. Let me give some little background. I think the committee will appreciate that. You know, GPHA, Tema Shipyard, PSC, the Malaysians were operating during the privatization area, that is around 1997 thereabout, and they held it until 2013 when Cabinet took a decision and decided to take Tema Shipyard back, and GPHA had to settle the indebtedness government owed to them. So, of course, if a private individual is operating under the judicial government, and that is the land of what they call a GPHO, who pay ground rent, because the same time that GPHO was operational, that was the same period that Kwame Nkrumah built Tema Shipyard and allocated those people that were settled. In fact, this issue has been brought to the attention of the Honorable Minister, and we are at the conclusion stage. I can, with your permission, we have ceased payment based on the recommendations. We have not hence paid. We have what they call, so the attention of the minister, he's here, he can highlight on that.
Okay. Honorable Chair, if the minister can update the committee on progress on the negotiation on this particular item.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, like he narrated, this has to do with a long-standing rent payment, ground rent payment to GPHA. The Malaysians were operating and they were paying. And now, it is now government-to-government business. So we are taking an internal arrangement to see how we can have a common settlement, because
Tama Shipyard is not of a financial strong standing to be able to take up these debts and settle them. So we are having conversation as to how we can bring a closure to the rent. However, the Tama Shipyard has ceased paying any of the rent. We are far advanced in concluding on this matter. I thank you.
Mr. Honorable Chair, my final point on this is that the report also indicates that in 2024, despite your financial challenges, you were able to pay $500,000. On what documentation was the payment made? Is it that anybody at all can write to you and tell you that you owe me this amount and you start making payment without any? Because if you tell us you don't have documentation to prove the review of the rent agreement that you have, and yet $500,000 was paid in 2024, I think beyond settling this issue between the two institutions, we need to understand what prompted that payment, who made the payment, what document informed the payment, and if possible, if there is any wrongdoing on the part of any individual, the person needs to be punished for it.
Honorable Chair, head of entity at that particular time was seconded from GPHA, to Tema Shipyard. He was the former director for Kita Ports. So he had even an office at GPHA. So as to all what I cited was a letter demanding the ground rent. But as the auditors have reiterated, there was no any evidence of any review. So I will not be able to speak much about it. But all what I'm saying is that he was, acting as a chief executive officer for Tema Shipyard. At the same time, he was a director of port. And that was under the direct supervision of GPHA.
Mr. Chairman, even though I said my final, if I can have a final bite on this, respectfully. Honorable Minister, the revelation from the Director General MD, Chief Executive Officer, I think that these are serious issues, because if a staff on secondment from GPHA is the one making the payment back to GPHA, there are also issues of conflict of interest. The same person was acting as chief executive officer for the non-existent Keta Port. And then these are very serious issues that I think we need to get into the issues and get him to answer. But chief executive, did he leave a handing over note? And is there any explanation on this particular expenditure of $500,000 in your handing over notes?
But he left a handing over note, but I cannot really remember. All what I saw is this audit report. I haven't been able to, I have not cited it, and I'm under oath. I can't say things that I have not seen. Maybe perhaps it's in there, but...
Honorable Chair, I leave the rest for your direction. Thank you.
CEO, Director General, and so when you were appearing before the Public Accounts Committee and you cited this infraction, how did you prepare for this?
Like earlier on said, it was brought to our attention, and we are having a discussion. It was a payment for government entity to another government entity. And because it was cited or it was stated as indebtedness to Tema Shipyard for rental payments, we have to sit and negotiate or iron it out with the two sister institutions so that they can continue to work together. But we will say that we are far advanced at the areas that Tema Shipyard will be able to have the leverage of no more paying any ground rent and be able to do some work?
It's about the payment of the 500,000 US dollars. And he said he's not cited anything, he's not seen anything, there was nothing in the handing over note. And I'm saying that this infraction has been in the reports for the whole of 2025, for at least from June 2025 to date. And you were coming here. Whether you've been in the office for 2 months, 1 month, we've had people who had been in office for 3 months or less than that. They come and they because bring us information on this. That should be fine. But discussing who owns this or that, maybe the AG will be the best place to handle that and not the Public Accounts Committee.
Honorable Chair, yes, I did something about it. That is why I sought the attention of the Honorable Minister. And like he has reiterated that we are at a conclusive stage. Whether reconciliations will be done on who settled this and who settled that.
Also, I'll be grateful if you can furnish the committee with documents on the non-performing investment as
Thank you. Minister, through you, I want to ask Chief Executive kindly to answer these questions for me, because this is purely administrative work. And I'm expecting that whether he's there, he's not there, he can be able to answer this question. The infraction said, Ministry of Finance issued a 7-year bond to Tema Shipyard, which was in 2021. The reason being that it came to support the payroll of 2020 COVID-19 pandemic impact. It means there was a negativity. That's why they intended to do so. Now, the bond were matured 9th August 2027. And there is the need to create a sinking fund so that we can amortize this bond into rates. As at the time of this report, it means it has not been done. I want to know the level that you have taken this up to. Thank you.
The same investment that we talked about, the investment to EcoBank, the EcoBank investment has been ring-fenced to cater for it. And like I have stated even as of today, if the amount falls due, we will redeem it and to settle that investment with indebtedness with the Ministry of Finance.
Chair, I refer back to you. No further question.
CEO. We'll go through this process with you. You were supposed to establish and maintain policies, procedure, risk management, internal control systems, and governance and management practices to ensure that the public corporation or state-owned enterprise and its revenues, resources prudently and operate efficiently in accordance with the objective for which the public corporation or state-owned enterprise was established. The next paragraph. When they issued you this one, you were supposed to establish a sinking fund to pay off the bond upon maturity in 2027. Have you set up the sinking fund?
Well, once we haven't set up any sinking fund or any other additional investment with respect to this, but the fact that we already have this performing asset, we decided that we're going to ring fence this particular one to be able to cater for it when it falls due.
Sir, look at paragraph 1210. The Ministry of Finance issued a 7-year bond valued at 4.9, I think it's million. 5.9 in favor of Tema Shipyard in 2021 as payroll support to the company following the negative impact of COVID-19 pandemic. We noted that although the bond is expected to mature on August 9th, 2027, the company has not set up a sinking fund to amortize the bond. Have you set up the sinking fund to amortize the bond?
Honorable Chair, like I stated, we haven't set up a particular sinking fund per recommendation. But we have...
Why?
Mr. Chair, the Tema Shipyard already has this investment. And so when the recommendation was made that they should set up a sinking fund, they thought it wise to re-fence the existing investment they have for the payment or the resettlement of this investment when it falls due. So that is the reason why another sinking fund wasn't established, but rather to continue to operate with what already the investment we have or they have with the EcoBank Development.
You see, the auditors are saying that we recommended to management to establish a sinking fund to pay off the bond upon maturity in 2027 in order to avoid a lump sum repayment which could affect the cash flow of the company.
So, Chair, it's just to convert it for the repayment. It's the same Tema Shipyard's investment. So that investment is the one that is earmarked to for resettlement of the investment when it falls due.
You see,
the essence is to have money ready to pay for the investment.
not only that, not necessarily that, because you'll be making a lump sum payment. And that will affect the company's cash flow.
Mr. Chair, maybe what they are saying is that they already have investments which would have been either withdrawn or which would have been closed at the end of the day. But because of the repayment of this investment, the investment is left to cater for the 2027 Shelley fall due. So already the Tema Shipyard has money that it has earmarked through this investment with EcoBank. So that if it is due, that investment will be used for the resettlement of the investment.
Could you explain why they need to have a sinking fund to them and to us and to the whole country?
Honorable Chair, I think when you look at the report critical, we have indicated a reason to avoid a lump sum payment which can affect their cash flow. I don't know the purpose of the investment they have with EDC. I mean, the purpose may be different from, the issue we are discussing. And so, and also whether the value that that investment would accumulate for the period up to 2027 will be enough to cater for this particular bond amount. So it's a decision that they have to make. We have made a recommendation to them. We thought that this is the wise route to take, to set some amount of money there over a period to be able to clear the debt when it falls due. But if they have decided to use the investment that they have at the moment, the question is whether that the value of that investment 2027 will be adequate to cater for the bond amount, and whether when they pay using the investment value, the cash flow of the entity will be intact or will be sufficient to carry the business through. So these are some of the dynamics that they would have to look at and then take the firm decision on this. Thank you.
August 2027 is just a few months away. And if we're going to make a lump sum payment, the auditors have recommended for you to set up a sinking fund for it. And all that you need to do was to do it. Unless you have contrary reason or magic to stop you from making a lump sum payment. Finance officer, don't you understand it that way?
I do, Honorable.
So why hasn't the sinking fund been set up?
So your point is well noted. Going forward, we will establish the sinking fund in addition to the investment we have.
Oh, what Mama Kasasa?
And respectfully, we would want to have evidence of the establishment of the sinking fund, and also to know currently the value of the bond.
Well noted, Madam.
Yes, so you finish the committee. We will write to you formally, and then you finish the committee with the current value of the 7-year bond, and then details of the sinking fund that you are going to set up. It is for your own interest. That's why you are being asked to do this. I don't think the auditors take delight in putting out recommendations, but rather they look at the way the benefits and the cost and what they feel will best serve all of us as a nation or people who have been entrusted with some responsibility.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1214. And Honorable Queenster will take care of that one.
Thank you, Chair. Your minister is my strategist, so you are welcome, strategist. So, page, what did you say?
I was just thanking you.
Okay, for being my strategist. You are welcome. Absence of performance securities for procurement contracts. There is this particular company
that obtained approval for the use of single source procurement method. For the sum of, wow, 11,345,000, and also in dollars it's 11,220 for 5 contracts. I think it's both. Yeah, 11.3, then 11,220. $11 million. Okay, so these are 2 different sums for 5 contracts. And it's been noticed that they could not provide performance securities in a form of bank guarantees or insurance bonds. What has happened to this company?
Honorable Chair, with your permission, I would like to refer this to the cost and building manager to respond to.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. I would like to first of all say that shipyards operations is
if you could please push the mic closer to.
I would like to first of all say that shipyard operations is basically based on class approval. Class approval. Most of the vessels are under class. And it is through the recommendations of the vessel owners that you choose contractors to work. And what is happening is that we as a contractor is rather required to provide some guarantee for the vessel owners. And the guarantees come in a form of certification. Their requirement is that you have to work with a certified companies. And shipyard basically rely on subcontractors. We are the main contractors. When the job is given to us, we also rely on subcontractors who are certified under the class. And what is happening is that the jobs are escalatory in nature. Because they are normally underwater works, even the vessel owners are unable to anticipate volume of work. And so what happens is that you choose a certified company, ask them to proceed with work. During progression of work, you see that the work expands because the defects are discovered based on surveyors' recommendations. And basically that's what happens. So shipyard rather provides the guarantee for vessel owners and not the vice versa through the contractors.
So that guarantee has been provided, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Has it been provided for now?
Yes, the guarantees have been provided.
Can you confirm for me, please?
Yes, Honorable Chair, it has been done. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, so thank you. Minister.
Sir, I was really interested in what you were telling us. Okay, so I want you to lecture us on what the company really does, because I find it very interesting. And so.
Okay, so the company is basically a ship repair yard. It's more or less a workshop for vessels. And most of the vessels are under class society. Every single vessel is under class society. A contractor cannot
when you say under class society, we the lay people here, we don't understand. Break it down to us, lecture us.
Okay, the class society, normally they come in different groups. We have ABS, American Bureau of Shipping. We have BV, Bureau Veritas. We also have DNV. Those are the classes every vessel is required to be registered under. And before you work on the vessel, you are required to also be registered with this particular class before you can work on their vessel. And every vessel, depending on the class they are, they require certification from their class before you can work on it. Basically, that's what happens.
So in a year, how many vessels come to your end for repairs?
In fact, the industry is a very competitive industry. Shipyard is constrained because we are competing with basically private shipyards across Africa.
In this country?
Across Africa.
Okay.
We have one in Cote d'Ivoire, Carina, Cameroon, Douala. There are several of them across Africa. Even Nigeria, we have some shipyards. And most of them, because they are private, they are very proactive. So shipyard is actually in a very serious competitive industry. And we need some government support to be able to compete.
So that is what you should be talking about, and not, refusing to, come up with a simple sinking fund that the auditors want you to do to safeguard your own interest. We've given you the platform. Your minister is here. When you ask, you tell your minister, when I compare myself to Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, and the other places, they have this, they have that, they have skilled workers. So maybe let the Public Accounts Committee and Parliament push you, support you to make a case with the Finance Minister, for the Finance Minister to release some monies to you to also help you expand and be more competitive so that you can rake in more revenue for us. So this is the opportunity. I've given you the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Oh, so I should elaborate more.
Okay.
Okay.
Sir, I will let sleeping dogs lie.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
It's interesting.
But
What they do is really interesting.
but he's not ready to take the platform.
No, the CEO is here. So
Oh, the CEO.
Well, when we come to the other ones that you'll be asking, I would address them all together. And the industry is a very competitive industry that require huge capital, is capital intensive based and requires huge investment. In fact, when we took over, there were challenges, because if you look at the time those investments was made, they were made in 1970s. There had not been any massive improvement on the infrastructure base. But as we have taken over, we have rake revenue, we are redeploying most of this into an investment. Because at the moment, currently, a lot of things that we are doing, we're doing a lot because even the pump house itself was not even fit for purpose. With the support of the minister, we have done all what we could, because when I took over office, we were just greeted by reptiles at that place. But I can state on authority here that the situation is not as bad like the way we think. The notion was that even...
I have given you the floor and you are only lamenting. I have given you the floor and you are only lamenting.
What I'm
Just
saying,
go straight to the point. Clearly, even in your assets, I see a huge drop. So what are the things that you believe you can...
Equipment.
Yes, and your minister is sitting
cranes.
right here. The whole of Ghana is watching.
Cranes.
So don't lament. Just go straight to the point. I need ABCD. Your minister is right here. Your minister is also a very powerful man. He has the ear of the president, and he can speak to the president on your behalf.
Yes. In our own small way, we are investing much into the infrastructure. We are not fine, but we're still asking for the attention of the minister to do more, because we are raking revenue. We are reinvesting those revenues into the infrastructure.
All right. The next infraction is on paragraph 1219, and Honorable Gape will take care of that one.
Chairman, thank you. Before I even proceed on that question, I would like to find out from you, what kind of investment are you into? What kind of investment are you into?
Investment are we into in terms of...
Investment you are talking about, you are briefing the committee about. What kind of investment are a lot?
Oh, okay.
Is it into infrastructure? Is it into... We would like to know.
Yeah, infrastructure in terms of machinery. We looking forward in acquiring giraffe cranes, mobile cranes, forklift, which of course we have purchased about 2 of them. We have even in the procurement process, we've purchased cherry pickers. They are yet to be. Even vehicles, we don't even have vehicles. We have been able to even, acquire about 5 pickup and 2, 4x4 vehicle to support the operations of the place.
Thank you, CEO and the Minister. This question is borders on single source procurement without approval. the auditors noticed that management engaged the services of KPMG from 2020 to 2024, and then in terms of that, up-to-date provision of corporate tax services to the shipyard at the cost of $11,000 without seeking prior approval from the Public Procurement Authority. Management responds that considering your limited financial scope going forward, you need to initiate a search to replace KPMG as your corporate tax consultant going forward. What is the status of this?
Yeah, payments have been put on hold. No payment has been made since January 2025. And in order to we have written to PPA for them to regularize this expenditure. But of course, per their dictates, they are conducting investigation, and it will take a period of 3 months and get back to us.
You have written to PPA to regularize the infractions. Is that what you are telling the committee?
Yes, we have done that because we have written to them for them to regularize that, and they've written to us with an explanation that it will take them 3 good months for them to conduct investigation as to what informed management decision to had gone into that particular contract without their prior approval.
Now, search to replace the KPMG as your corporate tax consultant going forward. Anything about that?
Yes, respond.
Mr. Chair, currently we are in the search because we were waiting for the letter from KPMG. Then afterwards, we will proceed with the next step. So we are in a search. We've spoken with one person. He's promised to assist us in that direction. So that's where we are now.
You can assure this committee that henceforth going forward, you will not see these infractions again.
Very well noted, sir.
You see, normally under Section 92 of the Public Procurement Act 2003, Act 663, I should have recommended you for prosecution with the Attorney General, because you cannot have a single source company without going through PPA. But today is Tuesday, so I will let it slide. No, I wasn't born on Tuesday. The next infraction is on paragraph 1224, and Honorable Nakoyo will take care of that one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Chair, so the infraction is taken from paragraph 1224. Section 90 of the Public Finance Management Act 2016, Act 921, mandates that the governing body of the public corporation or state-owned enterprise shall establish and maintain policies, procedures, risk management, and internal control system and governance and management practices to ensure that public corporation and state-owned enterprises manages its resources prudently and operates efficiently in accordance with the objectives of which the public corporation or state-owned enterprises was established. Now, per the Public Procurement Authority, in the letter reference PPA/CEO/10/2491/32, stated that it is mandatory for all covered entities and state-owned enterprises to use the Ghana Electronic Procurement System for all government requirements. Yes, procurements, for all government procurements. Now, it was noted that for all procurements, activities for goods, works, and services undertaken by the company were not processed through the Ghana electronic procurement systems throughout its mandatory requirements for all public entities. Is this a situation where one would say that you are hiding or you are shunning away from being transparent to the public procurement process? Thank you.
That recommendation by the auditors has been done, and currently Tema Shipyard is on GANEP. So it's been, the action has been taken. Copies of even evidence has been submitted to the auditors. Thank you.
I also noticed that you are signatories to the accounts, except for one challenge, which is operationalizing it. Is there any reasons for why you cannot operationalize it?
No, since it has been activated, it's been sent back, and it was a recommendation, and we've taken it on. So it's actively. It's been in operation.
So can the auditors please confirm this to the committee? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, they have now been set up on the GANEPs and transactions are processed on the system. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for all.
All right, the next infraction is on paragraph 1230, and Honorable Kunedu will take care of that.
Chairman, thank you very much. Chairman, this infraction has to do with ratification of some procurement contracts that the auditors found to be very irregular per section 20 of the PFM Act, and that there are some ranges of values in terms of goods and services that you ought to use NTC, the National Competitive Tendering, but rather you use the request for quotations, and they found that to be very irregular. They asked that those individuals involved be sanctioned and also adhere to the necessary PPA approvals in terms of the ranges for goods and services as per the law. First and foremost, and two quick ones. I would want to know if this has been brought to your attention and what have you done about the recommendations that the auditors gave. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Our mode of operation, like the marketing officer stated, completely different operations. And these infractions will continue to occur if we don't. We need to let the public know what we do. Now, most of the services that have been done are based on emergencies. A vessel can just have a problem and they will call at our place to do. You will not be able to go through those processes. In fact, the entity tender committee was even of the view that when it comes to the issue of service itself, we should ask for exemption from the Public Procurement Authority. We have engaged them, and what was agreed was that we should come out with a framework agreement where we pull all the contractors on the pool with an estimated value as to when. So that is what will address this particular change. Let me give you a typical example. We had a vessel.
CEO.
Yes.
You see, you drag matters to a level that, in my candid opinion, is inappropriate. You have a challenge, and you have a solution to the challenge. You are telling us it will continue. The PPA has given you a route that will help you solve the problem. You just go by that. Do the framework, go show to them, ask for exemptions, and these things end. But if you tell me it will continue, it means you are not even ready to go by the recommendations by the PPA. The examples that you give to us, would that be in the PPA recommendation that they have asked you to bring?
Honorable Chair, I was just trying to learn to tell you that the PPA has made a recommendation, and we are now going.
Have you followed the recommendation of the PPA?
Yes, we have done that.
Do you have the exemptions now?
Yes, we have.
Have you shown
not exemptions, No, it's a framework agreement.
Do you have the framework agreement?
Yes.
Have you shown it to the PPA?
Yes, they gave us, we applied and they approved, and we have sent copies of that into.
Simple. So why do you have to go the long tangent? It will continue. So if you have the framework, would it continue again?
No, we have.
So why did you say it will continue?
No,
MD, have you shown
That's
the
okay.
copy to them, to the auditors?
A letter has been sent to PPA seeking the approval was sent, and then when the approval was given, I don't know, we sent that. We sent.
You said you don't know.
We have sent.
Chair, he's trying to communicate that a framework has been given now, which is communicated to the auditors, and from now we will not see any of these infractions any longer.
Auditors, can you please confirm for us if you've seen a framework and a letter from the PPA in that regard?
Honorable Chair, we are yet to receive a copy.
Minister, I would urge that you furnish them with a copy of that letter and the framework.
Very soon it will be given to them, so you quickly print it.
Sir, this country is a country of laws. And what we are doing over here, we are just not, it's not that we are making things up. We have laws that we are all going by. You can't say that the shipyard is a different thing and whatever. No, we go by laws. And when you come here, you feel you are frustrated and this and that. We are just doing our job. And if you feel you are not doing your job, we'll just recommend that the Attorney General prosecute you for all these infractions. That's all we'll do. So we are doing our job, sir. It's not a country of men. This country is laws, country of laws. And the law is the law.
Thank you, Chair. We appreciate that. It's just the frustrations they go through on a daily basis. Like he said earlier, they are just like a workshop, and a vehicle can just all of a sudden develop a fault, and it is here. Thank God that we now have a framework accepted that this is the way to go, and they will not continue any longer.
Thank you very much. The whole country is watching. That's a good thing I like about it. The next infraction is on paragraph 1236, and Honorable Shirley Che will take care of that one.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. This is to do with dilapidated handrail on the gate of Dry Dock 1. A physical inspection of Dry Dock 1 revealed that the handrail on the gates of the dock were broken and rusted and poses a threat to the lives of the employees of the company. The auditors recommended that management repairs the broken and rusted handrail, as it can cause accidents and expose the company to legal liabilities. Your response to the auditors was that you are in discussions with third-party operators to do a comprehensive repair of the dock. Can you update the committee on how far you've gone with those discussions?
That has been fixed. That has been fixed.
Is there evidence to this effect?
Yes, please. Evidence of pictures of the current state has also been sent.
Have you provided the auditors with this? Auditors, can you please confirm?
Yes, Honorable Chair, we can confirm that the repair works have been carried out. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Let me, PSC Tema Shipyard, you are discharged.
Thank you, Honorable
But
Chair.
there are some things we have requested from you, and we are giving you 2 weeks for you to finish this committee with this. And this is a committee with the powers of a high court. It's not something that you choose to do or not to do, like the PPA that you need to go. We are very serious. 2 weeks, you give us the reports. Thank you, you are discharged. Now let's call Volta Lake Transport Committee Limited. Have you been, Clerk, have they been administered their oath yet? Okay. Could you please introduce yourself to the committee, please?
My name is Angela Oforiwa Aloute, the acting MD for Volta Lake Transport Company.
Honorable Chair, I'm Godwin Oredu Yeboah, the HR and Services Manager.
I'm Richard Bedu, Finance Officer. I'm Japan Bismarck, Acting Finance Manager.
All right, your financials will be on paragraph 1241, and Honorable Nana Oseyeche will take care of that.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Minister, Volta Lake Authority, going through your financials, I've seen that there was, although you made a loss in 2023, 7.4 million. In 2024, you made the same loss, but I should say improvement in the loss. There was an improvement in the loss. How did this come? How were you able to achieve this? At least 1 million. 1 million improvement.
Chair, I defer the question to my colleague to answer.
So we had more liquid cargoes, that is fuel, shipment from Akosombo to Bupe in the very year.
You said you had what? Please repeat there.
Fuel shipment from Akosombo to Bupe. So that's how come we increased our revenue and then reduced our losses. Thank you.
But you are in the business of transport. And when your fuel demand increases, it means that you have a lot more people patronizing your services. And so why must you run at a loss in this regard?
Honorable Chair, we are into transportation of goods and services, and we operate ferry stations, 5 ferry stations, and also push fuel from Akosombo to Bupe for BOST. And so as and when they have the need for fuel to be transported from the southern sector to the northern sector, they push the fuel to us and then we transport it. And so the more fuel they transport to us, they push to us to transport to the north, we are able to increase our revenue in terms of the charges or the tariffs we charge on the transportation.
Thank you very much. See you. So, are you saying that last year you were not doing this transportation of fuel to Bupe?
We do transportation of fuel to Bupe as and only when it is available to us to push. We do this for BOST, and so until they have the need for all the fuel need at the north, we will not push. And so we are at their mercy to push anytime they make it available to us.
CEO, for the benefit of Ghanaians, can you tell me what Volta Lake Transport Company Limited does for the good people of Ghana?
Volta Lake Transport Company is a subsidiary of VRA, and we operate 5 ferry stations. We have the ferries at Dambai. We have one ferry at Dambai that crosses vehicles and human beings across the lake, going to maybe Chindiri, Karachi, and the rest. Another ferry station at Karachi, another at Adosu, and another at Yeji, and also in Akosombo. And so when you are crossing from Dambai and you have a ferry cross you and your vehicle, then you know that that is Volta Lake Company. Aside the passenger side or the ferry station activities, the next one is the long haul, we call it, where we have barges. We have 3 barges, and BOST owns 4 of their own barges. And so we fill our barges anytime fuel is available to be transported to the north, and fill the barges of BOST also, and push it with our push tag to Bupe. Then they pay us an amount for the service we render.
So, but I want to understand, do you have an arrangement with BOST? Because you said that you are always at the mercy of BOST, as and when.
Yes.
But we also know that BOST is always in operations. Is it the case that BOST relies on other companies for the same services, or they only rely on your company for those services?
Okay, fuel goes to the north through the road and also on the lake. And because there is no clear-cut policy as to the percentage or the quantity of fuel that should go on the lake to the north, and we also don't have what it takes. We don't have barges, enough barges to be able to do so, to push the fuel. BOST is unable to rely on us completely to take the tankers off the roads to give us that service to provide, because we do not have enough barges. Assuming we had about 20 barges, we would have been able to fit into about 5% of what goes through the road to the north. I don't know if I've made myself clear. And so BOST is ever ready to work with us. Can you imagine? They rather have barges that we push for them. They have 4 and we have 3. And so it's a matter of getting what we need, the barges we need to be able to push the fuel, so that our roads can be cleared of a lot of tankers, and it is also cheaper to use us, because we charge reasonable fee or tariff on whatever we do. And so that is what we do.
So Minister, you realize that there's no sustainable business model for these operations, because it would have fetched them a lot of money. I mean, if BOST were to solely rely on them to be pushing fuel from one station to the other. I remember when you came to the committee last year, you indicated to the committee that you had plans of bringing in some barges, and even said that, I mean, there was a Korean Exim facility that is bringing in some ships or something. some new pantos. Yes, because I mean, I know the sufferings that, we know the suffering that the company goes through. And if we are able to create a sustainable business model for them, and boss relies on them, we know that they will be very strong. Because when you look at their performance, though their revenues increased, their expenditure outweighs that of their revenue. So the company keeps running at a loss. And the bottom line is that they do not have a sustainable business model. And I think it's something that we need to correct.
Chairman, thank you so much, and that's true. We are embarking on a serious move to ensure that we rely on the coastal and inland water transportation. That is the surest way to be able to have long-lasting roads that after construction they'll be able to stay long for our use. And so there are a lot of talks going on. We are pursuing a Korean Eisenberg facility that stalled at a point, but we have gotten ourselves to the table to now begin, and the debt restructuring things created a lot of troubles for us. But going forward, the ministry, and for that matter, government, our intention is to improve upon our coastal and inland water transport services, because we believe that that is the surest way that will serve the people and make more profit than using vehicles on our trunk roads. We are pursuing other options from the private sector, and she will attest that we've been having conversations, just that sometimes you have to cross all the T's and the dots before you can come out to announce any policy you want to implement. But I agree with you that the only way as a country that is endowed with the coast and inland water, the best way and the cheapest way to handle transportation is through the coastal and inland water transport, which we are pursuing seriously. Thank you.
Minister, you mentioned that you are pursuing a private means, as in private financing, for some support for
either a partnership with us by the provision of badges that will be used and then proceeds shared on our contributions, or in a private sector that will have the financial muscle to be able to also partner us in providing vessels or a facility that they will offer us to be able to procure badges. Those are the areas we are looking at.
Minister, it's just an advice that I think that we should look inwards and see how best government can bring Volta Lake to a certain level before you even think of partnering with other people, because otherwise when they come in and they do most of the furnishing, they will end up giving you little for what you're going to give to them. So I would ask that we look inward and see how best you can pursue the Korea Exim facility, and then as much as possible, government brings Volta Lake to a certain level with a different framework, different set of strategy, and let's see before you think of partnering with private sector. Otherwise, you end up getting not much from that partnership. But I know and I believe our former honorable member is a hard-working person, and together, if you should bring in the needed resources, and together with her team, I know that Volta Lake can see some vast improvements and also raise more revenue for the nation and expand and open up my vice chairman's constituency, and that will also benefit me positively, because we are not too far from each other. So thank you.
Honorable, we appreciate this sitting with you, and let me say that we are looking at all options, all doors open. We are also looking at even repairing or revamping some of their old vessels to speed up their movement. The delays in transporting or pushing the crude is also one of the areas. But like you said, we are looking internally, but whilst looking internally, we still want to see how the private sector can also respond. One, services to our people is very important. Even we need profit to be able to sustain, but we are also looking at the larger picture. If there will be a private sector that will partner us or will come in so that our people will be served better, why not? We will start with that and see how we can improve. Thank you.
I'm not.
Okay, thank you. Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chairman. MD, looking at your, I've seen that there's an increment in operating expenses and your general administrative expenses. Although our company is not doing so well, but there's an increment. What accounted for that, please?
Our youngest vessel is about 15 years. The oldest is 55, which means that that vessel is older than me sitting here. And so the operational cost is very, very high. We don't even, we are unable to find the parts at times. Most often you have to go and mend. I mean, it's been a hassle. All these vessels came from 1970 to 2016, where the vessel that was used as Senchi, the two vessels were given to us by the ministry. Even those vessels currently are all running on one engine, one genset. We really need help, as the minister said. So this is why our operational cost is very high. What a new ferry, maybe a new ferry could run with 20 liters. 50-year-old ferry is running an operation, instead of 20 liters, it's running with 60 liters. And so this is why we have a very high cost of operations.
Minister, I think as my vice chairman said, we should design a model for this company. And with the way she's speaking, I think they can do well if we design a proper business model for them, so that our roads will be safe. Moving from Accra to Kumasi, and when we get to the chairman's constituency, and you see the number of tankers on the road, we pray to God that nothing happens. But in case something happens, there will be a day, National Mourning Day. I think we shouldn't wait for that. We shouldn't wait for that.
See, Honorable, the reality is that it happens all the time. We see these tankers fall off the road. I mean, they engage in accidents, especially when you are going to Kumasi and you get to Nkoko in the evening. You see them packed along the lines at the road. It's worrying. Perhaps I now understand why Volta Lake might have placed last on your list, because they are poor. They don't have money, Minister. They don't have money. But the reality is that the other agencies that came under your ministry, and they are making huge profits. I feel that because they have money sitting in their accounts, and some of them they don't have anything to do with it, and they retain their IGF. If you look at the PFMA Act, the Minister of Finance can come to Parliament, and in Parliament can instruct that these big companies, some of them, they should buy the vessels for them, let them engage in business, and later they will pay. So I think that arrangement will help. Let's look at that.
Chairman, that's true. But just to say that the agencies you call big, they have a lot of commitments. So sometimes they are unable to fully cater for themselves and take care of other agencies. However, I've made them to write internally to some of the agencies to see if they can support in some of these things. But because we've not gotten any a concrete answer. It's difficult to put it out here. But I must say that...
Minister,
I must say
let me give you a classical example. Government has a flagship program, the 1 million codex program. At the point when funding became problematic for the 1 million codex program, I think Cabinet directed that NCA and GIFEC funds their operations. And I think that when we take it to that level, and the state now begins to appreciate the importance of having these fuel vessels move on the water bodies instead of our roads, I think they can do something. So please, let's think through, let's think big, and let's get something. Angie is very hardworking. She wants to work. She wants to be rallying around and bringing us fresh. But I don't see that happening.
Chair, I agree with you. But you see, we've also limited transportation, especially Volta Lake transport, to only government and government. And what we are seeing is that, no, let us open up a little for private participation. For instance, we have our airports. It's the private planes that are utilizing the place, and we make more money from them. It's just a matter of having an arrangement with the private vessel owners who will want to help us, and at a percentage we all agree, we'll be able to serve the people. The good is that we should remove heavy transport from our roads to our coastal and inland water bodies. That will be more cheaper for us. The only thing you need there is the craft. You will maintain the water. Once in a while you will dredge, but it is not going to be that kind of regular services like the routes. And also, when it comes to accident, the rates of damages or deaths or injury will be lower as compared to the roadside. So we agree perfectly with you. It's just that we want to open up the basket wide and be able to see how we can bring the private people who will help us to be able to serve our people through the coastal and the inland water transport. Even though you have said this, I'm not going to have any peace again because
ferry stations.
Yes, we have
okay.
5.
You have 5 ferry stations, as you
Yes.
said, but you have only 1 ferry per station.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you intend doing to expand the operations, especially on the Volta Lake? What ideas and what? You are very hardworking, like everybody is saying. So, what strategy do you have in place to expand on the Volta Lake? Yeah. Thank you.
The minister said it all. We are in talks with private Ghanaians to support us. It is very expensive to build a ferry. You don't need less than 10 million USD to build one ferry that's in the capacity that we operate in. The barges we need, it's about $5 million for one. A dual barge, which means that it can carry a container and also carry fuel. And so you realize our area of operations is capital intensive, and it will be difficult to, like the chairperson said, to just leave it in the hands of only private individuals, because they will end up taking all the profit. That is why the minister thinks that it should be the state and private individuals. And so one ferry at a station, now we have a problem of when one breaks down, until we get the parts, we cannot work. And I want to take this opportunity to empathize with the people of Agodeke, who are from Plains, where they rely only on us, and for almost 9 weeks now, all the 2 engines on the vessel are down. The 2 engines are down. We can't get the parts. We need generators. We need 2 generators. We have only 1 on. Everything is just not working. But I want to say that there is hope. We will do everything within our means. The minister is working hard with us and to make sure that in the next 1 month or 1.5 months, we will be able to resolve some of these issues. And so I agree that it's not easy. And if you want to grill me on this, you will grill me forever. And so pray with us, open the doors for us, so we can get funding to be able to do these things. And I want to also say that our mother company does well. Anytime we are in trouble, VRA, they support us to get those little parts. They have an allocation yearly for us, except that it goes and it doesn't really show because we have a lot of things to do.
Angie, you're only here trying to, water down on the issues. They don't do much. They don't. I sat on the board of the resettlement program. The money doesn't come. When it comes, it's inadequate. If they are doing well with their money that they have, like by now, you should not suffer. This is Parliament. We can't cover up on certain things. And so, please, they should be doing more for you. They should be doing more for you.
So, Mr. Minister, as she complained, a ferry is broken down for all those weeks. So what is the immediate alternative? What is happening? What is the immediate alternative? There should be an alternative because it's only one at a ferry station. When it breaks down, what is the immediate alternative for the ordinary people? Yeah.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. We, like she said, we have intensified the search for those parts. For now, we are not able to lay hands on the correct parts that will get those vessels, those barges moving. However, the local boats are supporting on daily basis and helping the commuters to move. But we have intensified the search for the canoes or the boats that they use. They are just supporting, doing some small works, not huge like what the ferry could have done. But we are very sure that now that we have opened so wide and look for the parts, we are very certain very soon we'll be able to acquire some to fix those vessels.
So, Minister, if the immediate alternative is the boats, do we also find a way of ensuring that the pilots on the boats, they are insured, they wear their jackets and all of that, or it's just an alternative? When anything happens, then we move to them. We don't even know the pilots, whether they are qualified or not.
Ghana Maritime Authority is doing a lot in educating our canoe users or boat users. We deployed or we employed some safety guards who are along the lake and giving some education. We are to have a comprehensive rollout of our actions that we want to implement with force added to it. We've been doing education. We are getting to a point we have to enforce that. We can now tell you that do not operate here any longer because you don't abide by our rules and regulations. So the Ghana Maritime Authority with their safety guards are doing some education alongside those crossing points.
So among the education, do we make sure that they are insured as well? What about insurance? With the boats, I'm now talking about the boats because it looks like that's the only alternative. Can we also add to the education we are giving so they all get insured so that when the ferry breaks down, they are a complete alternative?
It's part of the education and the enforcement we want to now bring in. But you see, we operate in a country that we are challenged at all levels. We are going to put a licensing regime that will now have all the insurance and all other safety measures embedded into which Ghana Maritime Authority is far advanced in preparing a draft for us to see how we can legislate to put some enforcement or some measures in dealing with the private boat or canoe owners as to what they should do. But like you said, it is very important to ensure that those boats are insured such that if there's any accident, there could be some kind of claims made to the victims.
Okay.
We are far advanced in getting a draft
Honorable
that we
Edem.
will put before you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, respectfully, I think that this issue of the vessel between Agodeke and Pando, which is affecting the people of Afram Plains, we are talking about it very nicely as though it's not a crisis. But I want to say that there's a crisis there. Many of my constituents are in those areas. They are farmers. For 9 weeks, many of them have harvested their products, even transportation, bringing them out to the market and all of that. It's a crisis. It is akin to, let's say, the road between Accra and Kumasi getting blocked, having a huge crack, and trucks are unable to access it. So it's a national security issue. It's an issue that I want to respectfully plead with the minister that let's get something done about this as soon as possible, because the people are crying. It is only because the media is unable to have access to the people to even interview them. That is why the issue is not a major national issue for discussion. I want to plead with the minister that let's treat this particular issue as a national security issue and get that vessel back on the lake so that we can get this issue resolved, please. Thank you.
Chair, it's a concern that we already are aware of, and we know the dangers and the difficulties our passengers face on a daily basis. If we say that it is not a matter of concern to us, then maybe we have not looked at it critically. We have been receiving a lot of calls, but the nature of the vessel is so old to the point that it's difficult to be able to access all the parts in time. Is one of the reasons, and like we said, we are opening up to see how we can get more new vessels that they will have ready parts that you can get to fix when there's a breakdown. However, we are in contact education. Like I said, Ghana Maritime Authority is giving education to the local people who are using their boats or their canoes on a daily basis. We know the danger at which this has brought our people to. They have a lot of difficulties on a daily basis moving from one bank or one point to another. And we want to give the assurance that we have intensified the search for the parts. Even if we will improvise some of those things, that's what we are now looking at, and then try and see whether we can move those badges. We will do so. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, the next infraction is on paragraph 1251, and Honorable Gape would handle that.
Thank you, Chair. Before I even proceed with my question, the company name is Volta Lake Transport Company Limited. I think as a country, we are not taking this company seriously, because I think this company would have, done a lot for us. Look at, even you are talking about bulk oil. What about food transportation? Cutting food by road is very expensive, and countries are using their water resources to help. Then now, we are not. So as a country, we need to reset Volta Lake Transport. Volta Lake Transport need reset. Seriously. Now, you claim you don't have money. I would like to ask your procurement officer, is he familiar with the section 21 of the Public Procurement Act at 2003 at 663? Are you aware of that? That section?
Yes, we are aware, and I'll defer to him.
Procurement officer, are you aware? You are aware?
Yes, sir, we are aware.
So why do you decide to break down procurement into, you split them the same day, the same date, the same company? Why?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. In connection with the breaking down of the bulk, what happened was when we take the corporate budget that we drew, which translated to the annual procurement plan, the request, like my CEO said, we have stations all over, about 5 ferry stations. So the request for the Manila rope, the shackles, and then the wire rope came according to the various stations. So we had to also procure it as it came to the procurement department. And then, Honorable Chair, it may interest you to know that with the mooring rope and then the wire ropes, if the vessels are not well secured, it can just drift off. And there was an incident about some years ago, which we experienced. By the time we came back in the morning to work, we saw that one of our vessels, MV Yape Queen, was nowhere to be located. So the crew went round, as our operation team, they went round and then they discovered that it was closer to the dam, that's Akosombo Dam. So we had to call rescue team from both VRA and then VLTC. Then they had to go and rescue the vessel from the dam. It was almost going to hit the dam, which would have been a national disaster to the entire country. So according to how the request came for the various stations that they are in dire need for the item, then the procurement team also went ahead to procure it. But when the auditors came, they raised the issue, which we've all seen the wisdom in it. So going forward, we've taken cognizance of that, and then we will ensure that we will be proactive enough that when items of similar nature come, we will put all together, and then we will use the right method of procurement. Thank you very much.
Procurement officer, the story you are telling us, you are under oath.
Yes.
And then it is clear that it's a bulk you have split. The evidence is clear. There is no justification what we are doing. Even they have recommended for your those involved to be prosecuted. Because even looking at the amount involved is 525,120 Ghana cedis. And then when you look at the breaking of the bulk procurement, the dates 16th, 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 the same day. And then the second section is talking about 19, 19, 19. Even layman looking at this, somebody will say you are even doing this, you are not even smart in doing this. And it's a fact. So it's a bulk procurement, you are broken into pieces and you are doing it. So accept it and then put measures in place rather than justifying it. Your justification will not be accepted here because we are dealing with evidence. The name of the game is evidence. And it is clear. You have been recommended for prosecution. You and I were not there. Chairman, we are in your hands.
Honorable Day, ask your question.
Before you come in, can I come in?
Yeah, come in.
Chairman, what we do at VLTC, we try to put body and soul together. And we acknowledge that the wrong thing or things were done. We will not repeat it anymore. And so this is my humble plea to the committee.
All right, Honorable Day. Yes, your question.
And also as a former friend of the committee.
Yes.
Thank you, Chairman. My question actually, it's before I ask my substantive question, I have a very huge interest in the operations of the Volta Lake Transport Company because I'm the MP for Kwando. And in your presentation, I did not hear, Honorable Chair, the ferry stations. Maybe I missed it, but I didn't hear Pando being mentioned. Is it not one? If it's not, why? Now, if Kpando is a ferry station, well, maybe you want to answer whether Kpando is a ferry station or not. Then I can proceed.
Okay, Honorable MP for Kpando constituency, Kpando station on our books is Agodeke Kpando. Agodeke Kpando. And so we set off in the morning from Agodeke, and then we get to Kpando Toko. And so that is in your constituency. And Agodeke is also in another constituency.
So by the mention of Agodeke, by extension, Kpando.
By extension, it is Kpando Toko Agodeke.
All right. My question then is the construction of landing base part of the arrangements you are making to solicit private sector participation in the operations of the ferries? Because without a proper or a workable landing beach, I cannot see how the operations of these ferries would be effective. You may want to expatiate on that.
Yes, it is part of it. It is not only in Kpando Toko. Almost aside Adosu, Bipe and Akusumbo, we have the need to construct landing sites at the rest of the ferry stations. It is an urgent need because as and when we do the local one by using excavators, laterites, and then it rains, it washes the laterite into the lake, and the lake gets silted. Aside that one, VRA is also complaining about the filth it pushes to the dam area, and so it is a necessity, and we are also working, as the minister said, on that.
Well, by that explanation, I would like to assure the minister, Madam Chair, that in fact about 10 other MPs in the Volta region and OT are going to join the CEO in coming to knock at your doors, because operations of these ferries or vessels, it's so critical to the economies of our constituencies, and we will not relent until we find some workable solutions to this. So we're going to be knocking at your doors, and we'll join the CEO to be doing that. So that's some assurance for the Honorable Minister.
Minister,
okay.
He's being selective. He's being selective. 10 MPs from Volta. I'm also part. I'm from Eastern region.
Well, OT and Eastern and Northern, in fact, the list is long. If you look at the number of constituencies and districts that border.
But I think that the assurance from the minister has been very telling. So, Minister, just on the last infraction, and it has to do with
But Senior, I'm yet to finish my question.
Okay.
No, it's part of the substantive question that I wanted to. Can I proceed? Thank you very much. The auditor cited a very simple but very significant infraction, which has to do with encroachment on the company's landed property at Yeji. The conduct of a physical inspection of the company's landed property located at Yeji and noted that parts of the property had been encroached by residents. Madam Chair, if the witness can inform the committee on the status of this encroachment, whether it's been resolved, whether the encroached land has been taken back, if you can, throw some light on this. Thank you.
Thank you. When you go to paragraph 1263, the response there is clearly stated that that would have been catered for when the Korean Exim Bank loan was given, or comes to be, or comes on board. Because it is also heavily a financial issue, And because we also are unable to access this loan, we are still having issues being able to fence around our properties. But the good thing is that for Akosombo, the phase 1 of that particular project has been completed, and the phase 2 will be started any moment from now, when our budget is approved by the board.
Madam Chair, specifically on this Kazim loan facility, what is the status? Because the last time
the minister actually explained it while you were away.
that is approved now?
No.
But we are still working at it, because the last time I checked, I didn't hear what the minister said, respectfully. But the last time I checked, I thought they said there was no objection had been granted, and we were at the verge of securing the facility.
Honorable member.
Where are we?
Honorable member.
Respectfully.
The minister had a lengthy talk on it. I don't know whether you were in or not, about the Korean Exim Bank. Yes. Maybe you weren't here when he spoke about it. Would you want him to
Chair,
repeat
if
it?
you can allow the minister to just, respectfully, if he can just throw light on what he said. Yeah. Not repeat, but just throw light specifically on where we are on the loan. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Just to go a little bit back to his earlier questions, asking whether we're going to do some landed sites for the vessels or what. Yes, because if you don't do that and it rains at all times, you have to go and put laterite and then reshape it. Not only the landed sites that we are looking at, we have a comprehensive plan of having some small terminals to all those crossing points, because people will have to wait at the time for the vessels to arrive and they will board. And then it will also create some employment for people. People will go sell some few things there. So we have a comprehensive plan of terminals and then landing sites and then the vessels. With the Korea Exim Bank facility, it was affected by the debt restructuring program. And I said that we have reinitiated talks with them to see how we can get ourselves to the table and see how we can go back to the terms and then, if possible, get the facility to roll out all these things that were part of the programs that the loan was intended for, or the facility was intended for. So with the improvement of the economy and the way we are finally, or we are almost settling all the debt arrangements, we'll be able to get the Koreans to sit with us to discuss the disbursements of the loan facility. Thank you.
Thank you. That'll be all.
So in the management response, you indicated that you were going to recruit an estate officer who will be engaged and pay frequent visits. Have you done that?
Yes, it's been done.
You have an estate
Yes,
officer. Auditors, are you able to confirm whether or not they have recruited an estate officer?
Honorable Chair, we are yet to confirm that. We don't have any update on that.
Please, we'll forward the information to you. He came about a year ago.
Send the officer personally to auditors to see.
Head count or face count?
Is there any other institution that we haven't called that is out there? Okay, Madam, you and your group, you are discharged.
Chairman, we thank you for the opportunity and we are very grateful.
Since the minister is a friend of the committee, he will stay with us. Minister, you are discharged.
Chairman, let me also add my voice to my MD in thanking the committee for having this wonderful session with you. This will definitely add to the work we, the ministers, do on a daily basis with our agencies and asking them to stick strictly to the provisions of our laws governing their operations. And these interactions are very necessary, and for me, it will make my work even better. Anytime I'm with them, they'll be able to see why we should not come back here with any of these infractions any longer. And so I want to thank you members, and then the Auditor General Department. We used to be on the employment committee with them. They are also doing good work. May you continue to do that. Nasha, I'm grateful.
But Minister, I also love I was in your constituency last week.
You didn't go on my terms. You went on your own, so you were welcome. And my house people told me you didn't come. You should have passed there.
Nasha, thank you. Thank you very much for attending up on us. So this brings us to the end of the report of the Auditor General on the public accounts of Ghana, public boards, corporations, and other statutory institutions for the period ended 31st December 2024. So when Parliament resumes, we can now send our reports to the floor of Parliament for recommendations to be adopted. So on this note, we bring our 2-day session to an end and thank profusely the Auditor General and the Audit Service for helping us, audit all these boards, corporations, and institutions for 2024, and also for all the auditees who attended upon us. We also want to thank the honorable members for their dedication, and Ghanaians for following us and giving us positive feedback to make the Public Accounts Committee very relevant. And on this note, we also like to thank Parliament and the media for consistently making sure that whatever we do here does not stay in the room, but goes out for all and sundry to see. We are committed to helping us all ensure that our public financial management is top-notch, and then we go by the PFM Act consistently, and also support the executive and the judiciary to carry out their mandate in respect of managing our public finances. So thank you very much. Ranking, you have been very, very supportive, and I couldn't have asked for a better ranking. So thank you very much for all the hard work that you have put into it. We are very grateful to you. GTV, thank you so much. Joy, CT, and all the others, GH1, we are very, very grateful. And above all, our security agencies, the Ghana Immigration Service, the Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, as well as the ambulance community. We are very, very grateful to you for the immense support that you give to us behind the scenes. And let's all pray and wish our country well in this new year, 2026. Thank you very much.